Hey everybody, I'm gonna give it a second here and I'm gonna turn off my dehumidifier. You probably doesn't bother you, but it bothers me, so I'm gonna just make that shut up. Oh, that's so much better for my mental health to turn off that dehumidifier. Brian Charsky, good to see you. Good to have you with me. So I'm just in here. I wouldn't say I'm puttering around, but there are so many different workflows involved in making. Wow, Daniel, it's good to see you on here. Howard, good afternoon. It's good to see you're in Virginia, Brian. I hope where you are is pleasant. I do sincerely hope that. Here in the workshop today, I've got some nice projects going. One thing I'm particularly excited about is the graphic for House of Pawn that I got to make. I'm not an OEM producer of shop decks by any imagination. What's going on with House of Pawn is that we're producing a fickle deck that includes the House of Pawn Jackalope. And we redid him fickle style, and it was a lot of fun to make that graphic. And now we're in what David says to me that the order is what he calls in talks, because what was going to be a slug of popsicles, which is popsicles are easier to make. The centering and symmetry on the popsicle design are, oh man, they're so much easier to get a center and symmetry on, because you don't have to get center and symmetry on a popsicle, because the rounded corners don't show all of the warp and weft of laminate. And there have been times when I've suspicioned aloud that the popsicle design was really a pretty smart move for the industry when they wanted to mass produce, because you can have them off center on the belly, you can have them drilled off center, or you can have them have a twist in them, or all sorts of things. And I think a majority, if not a vast majority of skateboarders won't notice it and don't care, and my overall judgment on it is that's a little bit mercenary of the industry. But also, if someone is happy riding their skateboard, I think that's a win for everybody. And so on the industry side, I tend to be critical of the soullessness of that, and I will continue to be. But on the culture side, I really enjoy riding skateboards with people, and if they're stoked, I'm stoked. So you see it's kind of a foot in one world and a foot in the other world. Bill Felter, Brandon Sayer, good to see you guys with me today. So I've got the new shape for the South Austin Curb Service Slappy Crushing Deck, and that is also a new graphic that will be coming up, and I look forward to next week showing you guys some of that. You have a bunch of cuts done. Bryce Miller, good to have you with me. And Bryce, you make a good picture, bro. So anyway, South Austin Curb Service is here. Made this template. I started working on it last week. I think you guys were with me when I started working on this one. And the Never Was template. The Never Was template's not done yet. The shape is, well, that shape is still in talks as well. Oh, I wanted to conclude about House of Pawn for Floyd Howard Pruitt. Yeah, Bryce and Jason, I've got the South Austin Curb Service shape here. It's a simple, elegant shape. It's not quite exactly a symmetrical end-to-end. It's 9.1 at the rear truck, and it's 9.2 at the front truck. It doesn't really present as much more than a straight template. And it's got a little bit more cut back here on the tail, and the front is nice, and it's going to pocket up really nice, and I'll be cutting some of those after I get this order queue moving through. But I did something really simple today that is not that big a deal. I've been working for years by eye and hand on a lot of my centering and measuring, and I think that the amount of human error that I accept as part of my work is definitely well within the tolerances of our industry. But I did something simple today. I'm going to point you guys down, I think, this way. This is my box, my shaper box. So when I'm working on the shape of a deck, I use this box. It's heavy. It does come off. It's a topper built out of 2x4s and stuff, and it probably weighs 10 pounds or something like that, maybe 14 pounds. And today I went and I put, let's see if you can see it. Yeah, I put lines across it all the way out, and I put a center line down the middle of it so that when I'm making templates, I can do cross measurements, and when I'm working on a deck to see where the center line is on a deck, I can sight it in on that line there and pull it over to this side on this line here, and have just a wee bit more confidence that I'm sighting in from the same point on the edge line. So, you know, it hasn't been happening, but the idea that I would pull a center measurement here, and then the corresponding center measurement over here would be maybe wider or narrower based on where I was. I really am not going to have this isn't going to make a big change in anything, but it's a good feeling to add just a little bit more control and precision to. Oh, Ian Sermon, I'd love to have you visit, buddy. It'd be great. So the House of Pawn decks are in talks because all of a sudden what was going to be a slug of mostly popsicles looks like it's turning into a bunch of pan heads and some other shaped boards. And I love working with Floyd Howard Pruitt in Bradenton, Florida. Not only a ton of good memories, and he's a really good person, but I also like that his order is able to be changed and customized to his customers' preferences, and that makes me feel really good because the feeling that I'm making the board for someone, and that that they're getting the shape that they wanted, and that they're excited about what they're getting, is just about the best feeling ever. And that's why I'm here. So it's a nice day here in the workshop. I've got sawdust on me, you can see. I've been doing some stuff, and I'm excited about, we've got, I'm not going to say for who or whatnot, I'm sorry to keep you in suspense, but all of our customers get a shipment notification when we print their shipping, and then they can track from there. And so if you have an order in with us, I'd love it if you check your email that you gave us when you ordered your stuff, because your shipment notifications will be coming out, and you'll get to track your shipments all the way to the door. Boy, guys, thank you all for joining me this morning. It's nice to be here. I had a pretty long conversation this morning with Bud Stratford of Everything Skateboarding. And if I could just take a moment, I'd like to recommend that everybody get involved with reading everythingskateboarding.com and check out this tidal swell of open-minded people who are pushing for some really good culture. And I'm just adjusting my setup here because I got a new boom. It's got a little more wiggle in it than I'm used to, and it's sort of wiggling and acting funny. I'm going to just turn it a little bit here and see if we can get you guys. Yeah, so everythingskateboarding.com. And the other thing is Never Was. Never Was is one of the coolest ever. Started from Lucha Skate and David Thornton. David is a good thinker, good writer, good speaker. I have called him the Ira Glass of skateboarding. He is a terrific human. He passed the torch off to Brian Charsky. So Lucha Skate became Never Was, and Brian Charsky is a creative dynamo. And I think Brian might have been on this video with us right now. Don't know if you're still here, Brian, but Never Was skateboarding and everything skateboarding are my go-tos for ideas and inspiration in skate culture. Besides them, BDCD, David Thornton's blog is really cool. Yeah, there you are, Brian. Oh, shucks. That's Brian not only is really in touch with the soul of skateboarding, but he also surrounds himself with people and allows people to contribute. And I think that everything skateboarding and Never Was have that in common, is that they are highly democratic, and they really have formed a platform for skateboarders to speak and write about skateboarding in ways that haven't been allowed. Chris Castle, I'm looking at your comment right now, trying to fight the good fight out here, but I'm living in enemy territory. I think today, maybe my main topic of conversation, besides everything skateboarding, Never Was, BDCD, is going to be about Chris Castle's post today. Folks, follow Chris Castle. He's got a real good bead on what skateboarding can do, can be, can mean. I'm haunted by youth suicidality. Everything that I do in here, I'm constantly thinking about just how can we get more kids riding skateboards, and how can we continue to encourage and nurture skateboarding culture that is more likely to interrupt a suicide than to contribute to a suicide. Chris wrote a thing today about gatekeepers in the culture. I like a culture without gates, but we live in an area of the Midwest where it has been really profitable, lucrative, popular to be gatekeepers who determine who's in and who's out. Really troubling. It's been about more than 20 years of really strong, heavy-handed, top-down, dictatorial culture, and I don't think that a lot of people live in areas like that. When you travel and you go to Florida, you can see that just everyone's skateboarding. You go to California, everybody's skateboarding. It's easy to go skateboarding in California. There are certain places where they've got it locked down. Maybe NorCal is a lot more catty. Depends on where you live. I know that in Atlanta, Georgia, you can enjoy all the parks and things like that, but there are a lot of places that you can't just show up to and enjoy yourself. And if you're a small brand and you're promoting something that's outside the box, you're not going to get past the gatekeepers in the industry in Atlanta. And I resent that. I do. I resent that, and my resentment of that, I think, is more than justified, because it keeps the new ideas, or maybe new iterations of old ideas that are the best ideas, one of which is that everybody belongs. It keeps those ideas from getting traction. It keeps new, open culture, happy, fun skateboarding always seems to take the hit when legitimacy and core become the values of your skateboarding community. Ironically, this has almost all been pushed by retail culture, and if you're a skateboard retailer and you follow my videos and you've listened to me, my resentment of the wasted opportunity of our retailers is Yes, Johnny Davidson. I was just talking about Atlanta. I was using Atlanta as an example. San Francisco, Atlanta, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, as examples of very strongly closed culture areas of the country. I was contrasting them with California, SoCal. NorCal is very, 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 very. You get it everywhere. You know where you get gatekeepers. And Chris Castle, who's in this thread of comments, made a really good comment today on his Facebook feed about that. So go friend request. And this thing just interrupted the. Yeah, okay, we're good. So go friend request Chris Castle and join in the conversation. I noticed the first. He said something like, gatekeepers, it just sort of sucks that the gatekeepers make it so hard on kids. And the first comment in the line said, well, there are always going to be gatekeepers. And I don't think we need to have bad ones. What if the gatekeepers, all they ever did was make sure the gates were open? What if your cultural gatekeepers were people who, instead of trying constantly to fight for the legitimacy, Larry Thompson, you are welcome here. Please bring anyone you wish. I'd love to have you in the shop. Thank you for your comment. Peter, it's good to see you on here too. There's nothing wrong with gatekeepers. The problem is when the gatekeepers are people who feel their job is to keep the gate closed or to make sure that only certain types of people get in. I think that gatekeepers should definitely be a part of any culture. I think that there are issues of legitimacy, but when definitions of legitimacy become so narrow, when it's what style of skateboarding you do, or what oh, Rocco's barking at something. What's going on, Rocco? Huh? Come on, buddy. Here, come say hi to everybody. Come up here. I'm so sore. Look, guys, it's Rocco. Look at him. Look how cute he is. You're so cute. Rocco just ate a whole bunch of cat poop in the backyard of the shop. And I'll tell you, it's a bummer. Because he's a very kissy dog. I'm glad he's not kissing me right now. Maybe it wasn't poop. Maybe it was food, because he doesn't have the smell of cat poop on him. But he's really cute, and he smells like popcorn. I love you, Rocco. It's always good to have Rocco on the feed. So I've had it's been good for my heart to share with you guys about that, and I'm excited about the new South Austin shape. I am looking forward to making more skateboards today, and I will get back to it. I love your comments, and would love you guys to share my videos. I've got this look on my face because I'm really not comfortable with being controversial in skateboarding. I am controversial in skateboarding, and I accept it. But I think I'm only controversial through contrast. I don't think that the ideas that drive my speech and my writing and my work are controversial at all. Everybody belongs, and anybody that says otherwise is being silly. And when people being silly are silly hard enough and are silly violently enough and mean enough, they hit a threshold where silly starts to look an awful lot like evil. And I don't like that. So when it's ridiculous, you can count on me to ridicule it. When it's outrageous, you can count on me to rage. Yeah. I love y'all. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you stay safe. 10 fingers, 10 toes. I'm going to get back to paying attention to what I'm doing and doing the best I can at it. And I hope that all of you order boards from me for all of your kids, because anyone who says I'm not in it for the money is missing a part of the picture. If I didn't say that this is my living, I would be lying. And I really appreciate all of you guys who order decks from me, and I'm humbled especially going out and skating with folks, just seeing how much you guys rip. It's really fun. And for those of you who feel like you don't rip, go watch me and Floyd and Michael Davis and Tommy Story on our morning ride. I put it on my timeline a little while ago, and it was one of the most healthy sessions in terms of healthy for being human that I've had in a long, long time. So thank you all for joining me. You made my day less lonely, and it's been said before by others in other contexts, but I like you all more than a friend and can't wait to talk to you again. Thanks. Have a good day.